Welcome. We're glad you're here at Unity of Portland, Unity Spiritual Center here in Portland, Oregon. We are going to celebrate this day, this moment, and that light and presence and power within you. And let's start with some music.
Awesome. 2, 3, 4. We are here to love one another. We are here to shine a light. We are here to love one another. You know we are the ones we've waited for, you and I. We are here to help one another. Don't you know that we are here to shine our light? We are here to help one another. We are the ones we've waited for, you and I. And when it seems the night is cold and the day is hard and long, won't you let your heart remember, oh, the times we sang this song. We are here to bless one another. We are here to shine a light. We are here to bless one another. You know we are the ones we've waited for, you and I. We are here to lift one another. We are here to shine a light. We're here to lift one another. We are the ones we've waited for, you and I. We are here to hold one another. We are here to shine a light. Oh, we're here to hold one another. We are the ones we've waited for, you and I. We're here to love one another. We've got to shine a light. We're here to love one another. You know we are the ones we've waited for, you and I. You and I. You and I.
Oh, yes, we are. We are the ones we've been waiting for, each of us individually and collectively, all of us together around the globe, as we come together this morning and we begin remembering the truth of our being and opening our hearts to recognize that every one of us is interconnected. We're a part of this larger journey. Ramadan has started, this sacred month in the Muslim community of prayer and fasting and opening to this inner message and this journey we are on. And for each of us, we are in this time, this global pandemic, a time to open, to allow something larger to express through us. I saw a statement, I don't have any idea who said it. Everything is the same spirit watching itself through different eyes. We're all a part of this quantum field, a part of this movement of spirit. And so as we recognize we are the ones, I just invite you to join with me as we begin this service, this movement of spirit in prayer. Mother, Father, infinite spirit, we open ourselves. We open our lives to this presence and power within, recognizing, claiming, holding this space, and knowing that the lifting of the love that moves through us now, it knows us because we are created from this vibration, from this very energy of love. It moves as us this day where we open in a larger way of loving ourselves, loving those in our households, loving those around us, everyone in this community who is hurting, who wonders, where do I go? And encircling around this planet, every one of us, everywhere, we recognize the light that you are, the love that sources you, and we know that together we take a step forward this day, this moment, this breath, and we are so blessed. And so it is. Amen. And we are so happy to have you with us this morning as we journey. What an interesting journey. That is the word I keep using. What an interesting journey. Our mission here is transforming lives and inspiring others, all of us, to make a positive difference in our world. We do it through creating community, living love, teaching truth, serving spirit, and practicing peace. So many ways, so many things. I want to share with you a few things that are going on today. There is a coffee and connection immediately after this on on Zoom. There'll be a little link in your Facebook feed, and I just invite you to join us. That link is also in your online newsletter that you got. You can check your email. If you're not on it, go on our website and email us, and we'll be happy to put you on there. But the opportunity to just gather together and say hello, how are you, and look into the faces of some of the community members is such a gift. We also have our prayer circle happening today. Reverend Sidney and the Unity of Portland Prayer Circle will be this afternoon, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. I would just invite you to allow yourself to be held in that loving support and nourished by the spiritual connection and be a part of that. The Zoom invitation for that was in this week's online newsletter also, so check your email. We have an outreach project that is starting right now, and that is our opportunity as a community, this spiritual community which we are surrounding and enfolding, all of us gathering here today, those that are in other states and other places, those that will watch this later, and it's not just right now this morning. All of us together, we have an ability to touch the community around us. We'll be working with the transitional school, the school for youth experiencing houselessness. Every week they put together for 60 different families a box of food. It also has some homework in it, or things that for their studies for this year. And this week we are collecting, we're asking for macaroni boxes of macaroni and cheese, regular size shampoo. I know they're also looking for non-perishable items, peanut butter, tuna, trail mix, different things like that. And if you would like to write a handwritten note or handmade face masks, they would appreciate those. You can place them in the donation boxes on the back of the church. They'll be there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 12 to 4. We look forward to you being a part of that. On Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm still doing Spirit Break, this Spirit Live, with just a time to touch base and go back into our hearts and know where we are. There are several different ways that you can give and share in this community. We are so grateful for all that you have done, and we invite you to do what you can. It is such a powerful time right now as we gather in community and learn to be community virtually. The building's still here. We're still doing all we can to pay all of the bills that are there, but there are several different ways. I know there's a slide on right now. You can both use push pay, which is texting to 77977, the word Unity of Portland, and that, and then just do what you'd like. If you'd like to do it on a regular basis, that truly makes a big difference for our community. You can go onto our website, click on Ways to Give, and it'll take you to several different ways. You can always send a check to our community at 4525 Southeast Stark Street in Portland, Oregon, 97215. And We appreciate you for being a part of that. We want to welcome any newcomers that are here. If you are new to Unity of Portland, we welcome you to our spiritual family, this community, that the connection. We live in an energy field of love. And right where we are already connected. And so we welcome you into this community. Please know wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here, just as you are. And we look forward to also at some point meeting you in person. But right now, know you are loved, you are whole, infinite, and complete, and you are welcome here. So we are truly blessed. We are going to move into a time of meditation. The ability to open our hearts to the truth of who we are and allow it to vibrate within us. Truly, it shifts and moves and reminds us of the truth of our being. And I just invite you to relax wherever you are, in your pajamas, whatever noise is going on around you, it's okay. Just be here now.
God, I am enough for God. I am enough for God, just as I am today. Know that I am enough for God. I am enough for God. I am enough for God, just as I am today. Just as I am today. Just as I am today.
Relaxing our bodies, centering our being, and allowing those words, I am enough for God, just as I am today. I continue to relax, let go, and remember, I am enough for that which created me. God, the infinite good, moves through my being. I am enough. I allow the very breath of love to fill me now. The breath of enough. I breathe in this knowing I am enough, the breath of love. It expands me. It vibrates through me. And that remembering, that cellular remembering with every breath of expansion reminds me I am love. I am an expression of God in the silence, in the silence. And as I always breathe in the breath of love, because truly this universe is the breath of love. And I allow the practice of the presence to be my breath. This moment, I am filled with life, the life of God, the life of the infinite love. I am that I am. I allow this knowing to be the truth of my being. And I am so blessed. And allowing that sacred breath to move through us, with us this day. We are so blessed. And so it is. Amen.
I am enough for God. I am enough for God. I'm enough for God. Oh, just as I am today. Oh, I know that I am enough for God. I am enough for God. I am enough for God. Just as I am today. Just as I am today. Just as I am today. I am a gift, no matter what age, no matter how I look. There's beauty in each stage. I am a gift, I promise every day. When I look in the mirror, I'll say, I am a gift. Well, I am a gift I've loved really well. And every year I've lived, I've had a different tale to tell. I've made mistakes, I've had some regrets, but I promise I'll never forget that I am a gift. I am. There may be times when I forget the truth about me, when it seems time and youth are just marching on without me. That's when I need you to find me and ever so gently remind me that I am a gift, a precious child I'm put here on this earth, but only for a while. I make this vow, I say it with love. I'm perfect and whole and enough, 'cause I am a gift. I am. There may be times when I forget the truth about me, when it seems time and youth, well, they're marching out without me. That's when I might need you to find me and ever so gently that I am a gift, a precious child put here on this earth only for a while. I make this vow, I say it with love. I am perfect and whole and enough. I am a gift.
How beautiful. I am a gift. Thank you, Charlie Steen, Reverend Sidney Steen. Thank you for being here and adding that idea. I am a gift. What we came to know today is this idea, I am a gift. My intention for every one of us here is that as we move through this time of quarantine, and some of you are wonderful essential purpose workers, and we are so grateful for all of the things that are happening and all that you're doing in your journey and in your life. And I hold the space for every one of us walking out the other side of this, knowing just that, I am a gift. What if we were able to know that in a cellular way, I am a gift, to recognize that truth of our being allows us something more. It reminds us of something more. And when we do, we get to look again at who we are and maybe find a place where our new normal, because I believe we're all looking right now at what would I like my new normal to be. It might just be a little kinder, because we aren't saying, oh, I don't belong, I'm not worthy, there's not enough of me. And then we project it onto someone else. Instead, we look around our world and we're able to say, you are a gift, and you are a gift. And I may not understand you, but I know you're a gift because you're filled with that presence and that power and that infinite knowing. Buddha said, in the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of the things not meant for you. In this 5-week series we're doing, using the book, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, and I hope that you've been able to find your copy now. You can still go online and get it. And the tagline here, letting go of who you think you're supposed to be and embracing who you are. What if gracefully letting go of something in our journey was letting go of the places anybody in your life, any individual or any community, ever said you were less than whole. If there's ever been an idea that's been put towards you that you weren't enough, I invite you to allow it to move through you and to know something more, something larger for yourself. You came to know that wholeness. You came to be that wholeness, and you came to live within it. And that's the journey. I know that many of you experienced something I didn't, because in Unity, we have no belief whatsoever in this idea of sin, because sin is simply an archery term, missing the mark. In fact, I never thought I'd be saying it in a service, but what I want to say to each of you is, if that word was ever used against you, I'd like you just to let it go right now, and instead to allow those words, I am a gift, to wash through you and to find something larger for yourself. This is our 2nd week in a 5-week journey. We're just taking a quick look at these ideas, because my belief is that we can walk out of this journey as not just the whole beings that we are, but knowing it and claiming it and living it. And so last week we looked at some ideas. Wholehearted living, what is it? Engaging our lives from a place of worthiness, of actually believing the truth of who we are. I saw a line again, I don't know who it's from. Fear does not stop death, it stops life. And worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles, it takes away today's peace. Now we know, first of all, divine life is never stopped. And yet how many times have we allowed our blocks, our ways of seeing it, to not fully support our journey? Right now, it's not about perfection. It's about loving ourselves in all of the messiness, because we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of it. And that's the journey we're on. She goes on to say, wholehearted living means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. And it's going to bed at night, and you're going to hear this a lot, thinking, yes, I'm imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid. And I sometimes add, and this life sometimes is messy. But that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. Every being, everywhere. This is the innate knowing, the innate awareness of the presence of God. Because the truth, the underlying spiritual principle here is that we live and move and have our being within this energy field, this quantum field that is God, that is spirit, that is wholeness, that loves us and enfolds us and creates us. And sometimes we've been taught in our life journey not to breathe that in and claim it. And so somehow we thought we had to be something else. And you know, she also went on to say, and I love this, she said, we can talk about courage and love and compassion until we sound like a greeting card store. But unless we're willing to have an honest conversation about what gets in the way of putting those ideas into our daily life, into practice, we'll never change, never ever. And today I want to talk a little bit about what gets in the way. Because I know for you and me, we start out so much saying, I want this to be perfect. I want this to be this way. And it doesn't show up that way. And somehow we blame ourselves, or we think we're less than, or we go off in another way. And then we just give up and go numb and just start off. We just give up. That's not this journey. And what I'm inviting you into is this idea of love and belonging as a practice, as a path of life. Brene says that belonging is an essential component of our lives of wholehearted living, but first we have to cultivate self-acceptance. And so that journey we're on right now is in that way. Because if we want to move further, we have to do it from a place of worthiness. And I mean worthiness when we're at our lowest, knowing that I'm still a creation of spirit. I've never gone outside of that place of God. There's no place I can go where God is not. Which means there's no place we can go where learning is not, where healing is not, where life is not, where we don't find a larger story of the path of humanity that we're on. Albert Einstein said, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. And yet what gets in the way, and Brene's so clear, and some of us understand it and some of us don't fully understand it, it's the idea of shame. And some of you said, well, I've been shamed before, but I've gotten that out of my life. I love how she also said on page 39, shame is basically the fear of being unlovable. It's the absolute fear of not being good enough. And that's what blocks us from not just loving ourselves and believing we belong, but instead living with the idea of we're all in this together. We're all humanity, whole beings of spirit, good enough, love-filled enough to find that journey together. And so she goes on to say, shame is the intensely painful feeling or experience of believing that we're flawed and therefore unworthy of love and belonging. And we're going to go through in the next few weeks and look at some of the ways, she said there's guideposts to finding and building and creating a life that reminds us of our wholeness, that we live from there, and the times when we feel shame, that we're not good enough because we didn't do this, we didn't do that, we didn't do any of the things that society has said we should do or look like or be, we find another way. And I believe that is a spiritual path. And finding the beliefs underneath this, the realization that there is one presence and one power, God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And that within you is this Christ. It's the divine presence. It's the being. It's the light. It's the life. And living from there is where we're going. And so many of us may have said, I put shame behind me, and I don't want that to be a part of my journey. Well, we're human. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and this human part of us experiences it. I was floored during this time at home when, as I call it, in this petri dish of life, all of my stuff came up. And I started eating. And I found myself picking out jelly beans of certain colors. And I had to laugh. And I'm trying not to laugh because I've heard Reverend Sydney talk about her journey. And I've heard others talk about their journey. The funny part was I didn't even like them. But there I was doing that and saying, what's wrong with you? Those are the pieces. Those are the times. And we have to find something more. And my intention during this journey is to do it while I'm loving myself. So wherever you are, I would invite you to begin identifying times in your life where maybe where you're living or family or where you work or what you do or just who you are, somewhere you're believing I'm not enough right here. Not pretty enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not powerful enough, whatever it is, not wealthy enough. And we say, wait a minute, that's an old trigger. That's some of the stuff that I came to let go of. And instead we find something more. You know, when we heard that statement, I believe it was Teilhard who said, you are the universe becoming aware of itself. Us as a creation of spirit. That means as I become aware of myself as worthy and whole, and you become aware of yourself as worthy and whole, then this universe begins to say, oh, wait a minute. They're worthy and whole. They're different than me, but they're worthy and whole. Racism cannot exist when there is worthiness within beings, because more and more people stand up and say, wait a minute, I'm worthy. My voice is worth being heard. They're worthy. Their voice is worth being heard. And those that are afraid lose their voices. When Rumi said you are the universe in a static motion, I keep looking at that. Right now, there's a lot of a static motion. And sometimes we may not feel it's as static as we want it. We may just feel like it's motion. Allow it to move through you. Allow it to support you, and you will find something more. So we're going to look at these 10 guideposts. We're going to look at 2 of them today. The first one is cultivating authenticity. Letting go of what people think of us, having the courage, the compassion, and the connection to share our stories, to be how we are, not have a made-up version of who we are, but to truly be who we are and allow ourselves to show up that way. Margaret Young said, often people attempt to live their lives backwards. They try to have more things or get more money in order to do more of what they want so they'll be happier. The way it actually works is the reverse. You must first be who you really are, then do what you really need to do in order to have what you want. I think for a lot of us right now, we've gotten to look at what really is important. And if you haven't had time yet, I would invite you to do a little more of that, to say what's really important here. What really is important. And I think we'll find it has to do with loving each other, accepting each other, learning that we didn't come to see with eyes that judge people as worthy or not worthy. And we learned that by judging ourselves, by looking into a mirror and seeing that. And so we unlearn it by holding a space. And every time we start it, going back and saying, something's squeezing me, something's shutting me down, owning our story, and then talking through it. We might get to go back to the people and say, somewhere I'm still searching here. I know this isn't who you are. I know this isn't who I am. And I'm willing to find a place for something more. But it's authenticity. Brene says authenticity is a choice. It's the choice to show up and be real. It's the choice to be honest. It's the choice to let our true selves be seen. And it's the daily practice of letting go of who we feel we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. And a lot of times we start that in a really clumsy way. I know this. I know that honesty is not judgmental. That's not honesty if it is. I know that honesty comes from a base of accepting ourselves and others. And when it's messy and awkward and we think, well, if I don't get it right the first time, I won't get it. It's messing up and starting again. And we do it by, and this is where she said, cultivating the courage to be imperfect, to set boundaries and to allow ourselves to be vulnerable, exercising the compassion that comes from knowing that we're all made of strength and struggle, and nurturing the connection and sense of belonging that can only happen when we believe that we're enough. Because sometimes we have to believe we're enough in order to forgive, that there's enough of us inside here that whatever someone else did in their messiness, it doesn't mean we're condoning it. It doesn't mean we agree with it. It means it doesn't have control over our lives, because they too are worthy of love and belonging. And all the messy ways we learn to ask for it. Everything is either love or a call for love. And so this idea of doing that and allowing ourselves to be more and see more and allow more is so important. And when we have the times where we mess up and we have the courage to share it, not with the world, but with somebody we trust, somebody who's earned the right to hear the story, then we find something larger is happening. E.E. Cummins wrote, "To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day to make you everybody but yourself means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight and never stop fighting." As the mother of 2 teenage daughters, I find a lot that the world tells them who they should be. And my job, I find more and more and more, is to practice these same things I'm practicing with myself. To let them know they're worthy of love and belonging, and when I blow it, to share my messiness and the ways I didn't do it, and to find something more. And sometimes it completely crashes. Then it's the courage to go back again and try again, even when I blew it, even when they blew it. It doesn't matter. It's about, will I show up? And so I invite you to cultivate authenticity on this journey. We're in our 5th week of quarantine here in Oregon, and I'm learning a lot. Some I want, some I don't. Some days are absolutely beautiful, and I'm recognizing, oh my goodness, I forgot I'm here to practice the presence. And then there's other days when that seems a long ways away. Can I love myself then? Can I sit with myself then? Can I be okay right where I am? Or as the world told me I should be somewhere. Right now, we have an opportunity to let go of all of the places somebody told us we should be something else, and to find and remember the truth of our being. It's already there. It's never leaving you. The love and belonging and the worthiness is within your being right now. It's the truth of your being, and it never goes anywhere. With that, the second guidepost I want to just touch base on for a moment. It says, cultivating self-compassion, letting go of perfectionism. Now, I'm sure none of us are working to have things perfect right now. And I'm laughing at that, because sometimes what we do when we don't know what to do and we don't feel like we have control is just to say, okay, I'm going to have this right and this right and this right. And I'm laughing at what this journey is doing for me, because the things I thought I wanted perfect aren't able to be perfect right now. And so it's just inviting me to look at my stuff. Brene said, shame and this not loving ourselves is the birthplace of perfectionism. Many people don't claim shame. Nope, I don't have to deal with that. but instead they just take this avenue of perfectionism. And she said, one of the ways that it sneaks into our lives through perfectionism is that we don't realize what it is, because perfectionism isn't the same as striving to be your best. It's not about healthy achievement and growth. Instead, it's about doing things in order to get love and belonging, in order to earn the right. It's showing up in a certain way for a world in order to earn that worthiness. I know we've all experienced it here. I don't look good enough. I'm not healthy enough. I'm not this enough, so I won't show up. I want to invite you right now to make this time a time of both cultivating that authenticity and saying, today I let go of some of this perfectionism. Today I let go of what life has to look like and I have to look like, and that need to be perfect, because it's a way that I protect myself. She called it a 20-ton shield that we might just want to put down. Because real love comes, and the ability to love people unconditionally, including ourselves, comes when we put down the protecting behaviors that we've added in and remember that who we are is life. So Buddha said, I'm going to go back to it again. You'll probably hear it again. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of the things not meant for you. How much we loved, that's the journey right now. One of the basic teachings that Jesus taught over and over again, every wisdom teacher has taught. And love and acceptance of ourselves without judgment. And forgiveness added in is the sacred journey, I believe, of this pandemic. How gently we lived. Right now is a time to live gently, not perfectly. Perfectionism, which means I do this because I'm not worthy enough, isn't the journey we're on. Excuse me. And how gracefully I let go of the things. Literally let them go. We're here not to show up in our perfectness, but instead to show up in our wholeness. And that means all of the parts of ourselves. One of the things I've been looking at is, what does that mean for me? It means my house is a little messier, and I learned to find the beauty in it. Thich Nhat Hanh said, breathing in, say, it's a wonderful moment. Breathing out, say, it's the present moment. And when I find that this doesn't look the way I think it should, because the shoulds have told me who I need to be, then I get to say, right here is a wonderful moment. And where is it? And right here is the present moment. Where's the wonder? All of us came to live life fully. One of the stories many of us have been following, Captain Tom Moore. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's from, Bedfordshire, England, which is about 50 miles outside of London. On his 99th year, he decided to do something that he could do. What was his gift to the world? And so he decided to make 100 laps with his walker around his garden. And the fascinating thing is that he showed up. They began this social media campaign, and I thought it was darling because he was hoping to make $1,000 total, and I believe he made $1,200 the first week. And now that number, as he has continued, and he'll turn 100 April 30th, is 33 million. He's become what many call in England, and brings tears to my eyes, many of them say he's our hero. He's who we're trying to be like, because he showed up just as he was. Now, I don't know about you, but I know, having had a war hero for a dad, I know it's tough to show up in anything less than soldier style. The courage it takes to show up as we are and do what we can do even if it's 10 laps this week around the garden. That's what life is asking us to do. Not what's anybody else's, but what's ours. And so as you go through your week this week, I invite you to look at the idea of what is life asking me to love? What parts of myself am I being asked to call back in the present moment and say, wonderful moment right here, wonderful life right here, wonderful journey right here, present moment right here. And when I fall to my knees and say, how could I have thought I could do this? To love ourselves just like I did last night when I'm picking out jelly beans that I don't even like because I'm feeling a pressure because somebody lost an animal that was dear to me. And I realized that's the way up until now I've found how to get through it. But what would happen if I loved myself just like that? If I loved those around me just like they are, and I recognized instead, we're just on a journey of loving. Thank you, and have a love-filled week. We are so happy you are with us. And we are going to take a moment right now to receive our tithes and our love offerings. Again, there's several different ways to give to Unity of Portland. I'm on our automatic giving, so it happens again and again and again. And so I just use this card because for me, it takes the pressure off of if I'm not there, what happens? Obviously, I'm here a lot, so that's may or may not be an important point. But what it did was it created a place from which all of us as a community we can know how to function and how to be. And so for me, it's a great blessing. I'd invite you to consider that. Texting to 77977, Unity of Portland, all one word. It'll get you set up on regular giving or a one-time gift. You can do it through our website, unityofportland.org, and that there's a button, Ways to Give. And I just invite you to be a part of this movement of spirit as we hold our gifts in our hands. What we're doing is holding energy, an energy tool of spirit. When we infuse it with the awareness of the love that we are and the enoughness that we are, we recognize this is enough. And we create a world of enough. And from that place, through the practice of quantum physics, we put out into the world, I am enough, there is enough, we are enough, and we build a consciousness from which we live and move and have our being. So as I hold this and say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, we know that we are that light, that life, and that presence. And so it is. Amen.
We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world, oh, one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, and you're a part of me. My heart is open to love. My heart is ready 'cause you can change the world one heart at a time. You can change the world, oh, one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. Oh, you can change the world, we can change one mind at a time. Don't you know that we can change the world with one prayer at a time? Well, I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. My heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. You can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I know we're gonna change the world, change the world, change the world, change the change the world one heart at a time.
Oh, yes, we can. Thank you for the wonderful music. We're so grateful for Andy and Mark and Leah for being here and their wonderful work in this ministry and this opportunity we all have to experience life in such a different way. And as we close and come together and recognize we are the ones who touch this world, how much we've loved, how gently we've lived, and how gracefully we've let go of that which doesn't belong to us or which isn't right for us right now. I just invite you to know that the truth of your being is that light and love. And we're going to close with our prayer for protection, this unity prayer. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a love-filled week. You are loved.